to play around. This is not from income tax. How well do you think that government would work? Right, so in the last 4 classes, we've been talking about what do salespeople do. So who can remind us? Wait, what happened, guys? What happened? I need to do this. It's not good. Who did this?
So I'm doing YouTube instead.
What do salespeople do? Thank you.
Yeah, the YouTube channel, I used to wait.
Yes, so salespeople do lead generation. Sorry, this my board is wet now. Yes, lead generation. They engage. They convert. They get referrals. And then manage. Let's just call it RM, relationship management. You said what?
Appreciation.
That one is in the relationship management. There are just 5 things that will summarize that every salespeople must do 5 things. So you can give us the slide now. Every 5 people must do, every salesperson must do these 5 things for you to consistently, continuously make money from sales. Number 1 is that, see, if you have a car is a machine, isn't it? If you have a car and you don't have fuel inside that car, can you go out?
No.
You must do all that you can to get fuel inside that car. Fuel to move around. You know, if you have full tank in your car, there's a kind of joy that you have. By yourself, you went to the filling station and you bought full tank. There's a kind of confidence that you have that if it's possible, I can go to London. There's a way you feel confident. So much so if you have enough leads to call, you feel very happy as a salesperson. But you see, if you have your car filled up with fuel and you park the car in your house, will you go out? You still not go out. So you need to engage the vehicle, put it on the road to get you to where you are going, isn't it? That's the same way this thing is. So no matter the amount of leads you have, if you don't engage them, then there's a problem. But it starts with you having the fuel in your car in the first place. So your leads, the leads you have, your contacts, your viable prospects, qualified leads, that's the real fuel that you have in your car. You know, there was a time they were circulating bad fuel in Nigeria. Do you remember that time? Exactly. So you can have bad leads. But here I'm talking about good leads. I'm talking about leads that are quality leads. So when I started my sales career in 2013, there's something they taught us, and they call it Project 100. How many of us remember Project 100? They taught you to, right? Project 100. What book did we review today?
Be obsessed.
Be obsessed with what? Okay. All the things I've been saying will not be strange to you, and all the things that I will ever teach you will not be strange to you. Never. If and only if. Read that book. Just read that book. The College of Selling, ESA Superstar, Advanced Selling Strategy, by the same author. Because the #1 salesperson in the world that, that is widely respected for choosing the career of sales and helping other people grow in sales. One person that is taking the lead globally is Brian Tracy. Grant Cardone is a real estate guy, right? Grant Cardone is going to be a real estate guy. Tony Robbins, yeah, Tony Robbins is a strategy leadership coach, right? But if you're talking about sales and entrepreneurship, you need to Brian Tracy. When you want to talk about success, mindset issues, and all of that, to give it to Jim Rohn. But Jim Rohn is late now. But if you read from these authors, yeah, they are. You can say they are foreigners. Yeah, they have, but there's just a way that reading their books just helps shape your mind. By the way, you want to read from someone who is globally exposed rather than local exposure. So I appreciate African authors. I like them. I have some mentors, that are very much close by around, powerful guys. But yeah, they themselves have to read from these guys and then localize the material. We have what we call African context. So because I do tell people sometimes when you read the psychology of selling and someone is typically telling you that, yeah, I started my sales career as a poor man, and then while you are reading on, the person saying, so I used to sleep in my car, and then be wondering, you're a poor man, you have a car. In Africa, if you have a car, you're a big man.
Yes.
So, but that's not the context of a typical American or Western person, right? But so they will say that principles are universal, right? But application is geographical and contextual. So the principle is the same all over the world, but how you apply it is not dependent on your geographical location. Let me take, for example, method of lead generation anywhere in the world is the same. Lead generation is lead generation, right? But the application of those methods, right, is then geographical. But how you will meet people anywhere in the world is how you meet people in Nigeria. The need for you to meet people anywhere in the world is the need for you to meet people in Nigeria. Lead is lead. Engagement is engagement. Conversion is conversion. Referral is referral. Relationship management is relationship management. Anyhow. All right. So in the light of that, so we said that salespeople compulsorily must carry out these 5 things. Do we remember? Do we all agree? Right? So we've dealt with lead generation extensively. We've dealt with engagement. So I'm going to do a little bit of revision on that. Then when it comes to conversion, that's our first class where we taught us sales life cycle, right? That is the real application of that, right? How you engage, convert a client from a suspect to a customer. You know the difference between a suspect and a prospect? What's the difference between a suspect and a prospect? You don't know. You can differentiate between a suspect and a prospect. Thank you. Let's say you be my friend now. Yeah?
Prospect is somebody you can buy. The prospect is somebody who are
Thank you. That you're engaging. He becomes a client or a customer after the person had committed himself. You are not seeing the person, it's not your client, it's a prospect. We are already engaging, so you engage a prospect. A suspect, for a long time I argue with teachers and with some of my friends on the issue, why will you be calling someone a suspect? Is he a criminal? Right. Well, later I came to the agreement that okay, I'm looking at you. Look at Michael now. Michael, please, can you come forward or just stand up? anyone which is convenient for you. If you look at Michael now, do you think Michael can buy Center Garden? Yes, he's a suspect.
Yeah.
So you are suspecting, I'm feeling like Michael can buy. Then I make an approach and I engage him. And then I realize, he can actually buy. So it becomes a quality lead, becomes a quality prospect. Then the day he makes payment, it becomes my client. But let's say when I engage him, and I realize he's a client, they just deliver his document to him. He has his Zenith property document with him, so it's a big well. But if you prospect him, himself will prospect you. So if I engage him and I realize that we're going to a fine boy, just a fine boy, there's no money, right? What do you think I will do? I will let go of him. So he was a prospect, but was never converted to a client, right? So lead generation, engagement, conversion, referral, and then so yes, relationship management. So last week we said that there are two formulas by which you can engage for you to, that you can use in trying to engage people. So who can remind us?
Online.
What is S? What is second S?
Conversation.
Always try to be the first person to engage. You want to understand what I'm talking about? Read this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think I mentioned it last class. How many of us have read it before? Faith. You need to read that book. You have the natural tendency for someone to express everything in that book. To help you a lot. How to Win Friends and Influence People. You can download it. I think they sent it on the group now. They sent it on the WhatsApp group. Right. So then the next one is what?
Ask questions.
And ask questions. Then the next one is what?
Listen.
Be a listener. And the next one is what?
Learn how to tell stories.
Be a storyteller. I know a friend can cook up stories. You know, most of those books we read on fiction, some of them are not real. Do you remember? Some of you can carry 500 pages book on fiction and be reading it. I will just be wondering. The time that you are supposed to use to read real books, they are using it to read fiction. They will now be telling you one Campbell story of one love story or one guy or something. You just when you sleep in the night, you now be dreaming. I'm serious. Instead of reading books on fiction, read books on motivation. But learn how to tell stories in a fascinating way. But do you tell stories to a stranger? Exactly. You can't tell story to a stranger that you don't know. Learn how to use stories to engage people in a sales conversation. There are short stories that you can tell. Let me give an example. How many of you have heard me talk about one land we bought in 2021 when I was still working as a director in Zidos? We bought it at The client put it for 32 million, got it at 31 million per plot. How many of you have heard me tell that story before? Nobody? It's not possible. You've heard it before, exactly. So now, we bought this land. The client was insisting 32. We begged the client. You can see all of you are listening now to my stories. So let's tell stories, right? So I have problem when people tell stories that are lies, right? Don't tell lies, because if the client find out, hey, but I have a friend, can cook up stuff. There's no way he meets you anywhere. You will find a story that will make you feel comfortable around him at that point, and that is not really. The day I found out, I was disgusted, right? But learn to tell stories. So those story books, those fictions, the reason why I talk about them, those people learn to tell stories, and you will sit down there for 8 hours in a day reading stories that are not real. So you need to learn that skill, something that you can learn. Learn the skill as a salesperson on how to use them. Very serious, right? So, so this particular land, the owner bought it in 2011, somewhere off Abraham Adesanya in Ajah area, for 1 million per plot. The owner bought it for 1 million per plot, and in 2021 put it in the market for sale. Was a 3.5 acre land. If you multiply this by 6, you know the number of plots that are in there. Then, yeah, it's massive land. How many of you know Lekki Pride 1? That's the land I'm talking about. My own is a true story. So the client bought it for 1 million for a plot, 2011, and then sold it for 31 million 10 years later. So in 10 years, the client had made 3,000% of his money. 3.5 acre times 6 is what? 21 plots. So 21 times 32. 21 times 31 million. Yeah? 6 what? 21 times 31.
Yeah.
651, right? Exactly. So, well, how much did you buy it? Let's say 21 million. You don't know how much you paid on documentation and all of that. You don't know what was the agreement at the time. So let's say you bought it 21 million and sold for 651 million. Made 3,000% profit. 10 years. That's 300% a year. But you see, if you use this as a projection for every real estate, you're going to fail. These are unique opportunities. There are some that are better than this. Buy a piece of land last year, and this year, boom, it's 1,000% increment. You buy some last year, and you might not even have 50% in 12 months. Possible. Very, very, very possible. But this is a situation whereby someone bought a land, 1 million naira for a plot in 2011 and 2021. Fast forward. So if you are prospecting, do you think if I'm prospecting any client using this story, will I sell or I will not sell?
Sell.
I will definitely sell. So learn how to tell stories. When you hear your client talking, learn how to listen. So that is in the angle of engagement. So there are 3 things we treated that day. So that's one. So we said that your conversation should be around the following. This is how to engage when you meet someone and you smile. There is no way the person will not smile back at you, even if it's still good. Some people that you meet them, when you smile, they understand the principle, right? They're very careful, they don't know you, they put on self-defense. But you see that smile alone, whether they like it or not, it will first of all weaken them. Because there is no way you are coming with fight and you are smiling, right? It's in very rare cases where what you have in mind is to fight and yet you are smiling. It's very rare occasions, right? So the power of smile is very, very, very important. As a salesperson, let me say, oh, let me lead you over. And they frowning all the time. Relax your face, relax. Relax your face. Relax. He said, that's why his name is MSN. Money Stop Nonsense. His name is MSN. Money Stop Nonsense. It's true now. Is that?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. So you should be comfortable to speak about the following. Number one, be comfortable to talk about your family and the family of the prospect. But you need to be sensitive and be very careful to what you want to say. See, before you mention anybody in the person's family, except if it's a popular figure, you know, I've been to places where the moment I mention my name is Abiodun Afolayan. The first thing people ask me is, are you related to the Afolayan guys that are doing movies? Then I smile. I say, no, we're not related. But they're my friends. Aremu Afolayan is my friend. I have his phone number. See his status. It's recent time that I even blocked him on my status. I don't want him to be seen. I don't want to be seeing his status again. Oh, am I live? Okay, so it's a recent time that because he will post all sort of funny things. There's nothing Aremu will not post. He can post anything, he can talk anything. And sometimes the things that you hear, the things that you see, the whole lot, you know, they form your thinking. If you are not careful, they form your behavior. So it's a recent time that I just mute the guy. So I've been to places where people ask me, are you related to the Afolayans that are into the movie industry? And I'm like, no, we're not related, but we're friends. You know that they are indirectly talking about my family. So when you hear people's name, and maybe there's a popular figure that is associated with that name. There's a woman that was here 2 Mondays ago or something. Her name is Madame Shoneye, right? My neighbor in the estate where I live, the guy bears Shoneye. So when we met, I was engaging. I said, I have one Shoneye around my house. Are you related? She said that she's not sure because there are so many Shoneyes. Now, our own has SH. Then I checked my phone for the name of the person. That person's phone is only S. Our own is SHO. This person I'm talking about is SO. So I said, oh, and then immediately say, yes, that's the reason why. So, but their own Shoneye is SHO. Right. So be comfortable to talk about your family. Be comfortable to talk about other people's family. Right? So, but you need to be sensitive and very careful. Because I don't know if you know I have kids. Not everybody. So what if I've been married for 2 years, for 3 years? I don't have kids. And then you ask, how are your children? You know, how are you, sir? How are your children? You need to be careful because some people here, some will be like, doesn't matter, they will answer, oh, they are fine, they are this. If they are very comfortable with you, some of them will even open up and say, oh yeah, we're still looking up to God, you know, we're still this, we're still that. But some people, you will break them.
Yes. They will just withdraw.
They will just withdraw from you. You didn't offend them, but they will just withdraw from you. So even some of my closest friends, right? Because sometimes I feel like I'm very emotional, right? Myself and my mom were talking on Saturday. We're moving from Ibadan to Lagos. And so we're talking on Saturday. And then we're talking about someone that's been married since 2002. And up to now, it's not yet, So I was like, so the thing was giving me a headache. I was like, gosh. I said, okay, go, But you know what? I have never one day, not to make the guy and say, bros, now. Because I feel like I don't know what he will be thinking. So you need to be very sensitive. If they bring up the matter, oh, fantastic, we'll talk about it, we'll deal with it. But if they don't talk about it, if they don't say things that relate to it, sometimes I'm just very careful because you don't know what will break them. So when you meet people, while you are trying to talk about their family, generalize it. Say things generally about families, not specific things. But if you enter someone's office, right, and you see his picture, you see a woman beside him, and you see children around him, that's one of the best places to start a conversation. Because he himself has brought it to the public. Do you understand? That's one of the best places. There is no way the person's family picture is in his office. I want to talk about the person will be happy. You'll be like, oh, this person so loves us and is concerned about us. You say, oh, are these your kids? Yes, oh, and they look so beautiful. They are this, oh, I'm sure this is your wife, the picture. She must be a very lovely woman. And the man, the man will just melt and just be talking, just relax. If a man does not like his wife, he won't put the picture in his office.
Yes, exactly.
But not in all cases so. Because I like my wife and his picture in the mouth. So it's not in all cases, but any man that you see his picture and his wife's picture in the office, he's seeing that picture from time to time, he's feeling with that picture, definitely likes that woman beyond any other thing in the world. And then to now add the children's picture with it, oh no, very good place to start the conversation. So you talk about family. If it's someone that you have an idea of how finance are around them, talk about school fees. It's not everybody that has school fees headache. They sent me a bill for my kids' school fees last month. And my heart sank. And I was like, So if you come to me, right, and you talk about school fees, I'll be willing to engage. This economy, school's more. There's a woman that came online, she's a realtor. She came online like 3 weeks ago, lamenting about children's school fees that she's paying like ₦1 million per quarter in the school. And so anybody around that has an idea of how where she can put her children with the best quality, but the school fees are not so expensive that they should please let her know. Right? So someone like that, if you get to meet her, she'll be very happy to engage you, talking about school fees. But it's not everybody. All this one that we're saying dollar is expensive, dollar is this one. Some people still send their kids abroad. And I have a friend that about 2 weeks ago we were together. He's not based in Lagos. He's much older than me. A whole lot of my friends are older than me. So he's much older. And so out of 4, 3 kids are abroad, right? Schooling. So before you know it, he just started, conversation. He's just looking for this one wants to pay his children's school fees plus accommodation, this one, that one. So if you meet someone like that, there is no way you talk about, things around children, around family, around he hardly talk about it. So I hardly engage him about it. So you must be very sensitive while you're engaging people. Be careful what you tell them. But you must be comfortable to talk about your family to the level that you want them to know. When you meet people, I have 5 children. You don't know if they don't even have any. Do you understand? So be careful the specific information. But general family information, be open to talk about it. Before you know it, people will just loosen up around you, and then before you know, they will find it comfortable. You discuss things, then you must know when to stop it and start talking about business. I called one guy this morning. My intention was to speak with him for 10 minutes. We ended up speaking for 1 hour, 18 minutes. At some time, I was bored. And let him go to work. My plan was to speak with him for not more than 10 minutes or maximum 15 minutes. But when we started, different things, stories, this, that, and the other, I've never met him before. Someone shared his contact with me. But you can imagine that someone you've never met before and you engaged each other on the phone for almost 1.5 hours. We've never met before. Now we are arranging to meet. What do you think will happen when we meet ourselves? It's my first time speaking to him. And yet we ended up speaking. We laughed. We did all sort of stuff. We did so many things. We talked about business, talked about life, talked about a lot of people. Business has changed. People that have made it in the industry, different things. We talk about Nigeria and all of that. Because as I was ending one point, the guy was so enthusiastic, he's bringing something else. I was rounding up the conversation. Then he started to talk about, so this person told me about this product, the agri product. Hey, I said, oh, Jesus is Lord. And the guy went again for another 5 minutes. I just need to kill that conversation because my intention was just to speak with him for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let me take my shower and rush to work. It's funny, right? So, but you must get to a point in your sales career where you can find a way to engage people. Like some of you will say, I don't talk. You need to learn how to talk. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. And not even in this era of social media, you cannot afford to be quiet. And I'm a very shy person. That era is gone.
Very shy.
Come out. How many of you know that I'm very shy?
Are you?
Those that really know me very well, I'm very shy. I don't like to face camera. I like to face crowd. I can face crowd and talk for a very long time. But up to today, I'm still camera shy. Just told them to let me set up somewhere. I have an home office, but you hardly will see me make one single video from there. Now I want to set up a proper studio-like environment where you need to come out of your shell. And I'm very serious. You need to come out of your shell. You can't afford to keep quiet in this time, in this age. It's a sin, Abi. Someone was saying yesterday that footballers that are not investing should be jailed. So salespeople that are quiet, what should we do to them? You say what? Okay. So be comfortable to talk to people about your family, right? But be very sensitive on specific